music, as it's known today, is the product of an evolutionary art form that may have started back as far as the Greek civilization. For American musicologist Dr. Annalise Thomas, the Arabic music is a lifetime quest.
What came first, embracing Islam or the music?
The music.
And not just any music, Arabic classic music. For a Westerner who lacks the Arabic cultures and most of the language, this is like taking the bull by the horns. But for Dr. Annalise Thomas, now known as Anissa Luer, the music came first. The language came second, and eventually embracing Islam. For the love of music, next on SoulTV.net. Today, the classic Arabic music continues to delight people from all over the world.
Let me ask you, why Qanun?
I started playing the qanun when I was in college, my undergraduate years. I studied at the College of William and Mary, and I was a music student, and I was a keyboardist. I played piano and I played harpsichord.
Yeah.
And my second year there, they hired an ethnomusicologist named Anne Rasmussen, and she brought a bunch of Middle Eastern instruments and started the Middle Eastern Music Ensemble at the College of William and Mary. She located students that were very interested in music and interested in other cultures, and she suggested that we join her ensemble. She suggested that I play this instrument because the qanun, because it's similar to the harpsichord. If you imagine a harpsichord without the keyboard and oriented in a different direction, it's very much like the qanun.
Anissa Luer began her learning the qanun as an undergraduate. She graduated in 1996 with a BA in music and a minor in anthropology. She received her MA in 2000 and her PhD in 2006, both in ethnomusicology from Brown University.
Similarity to the true between the chord and the qanun?
What's similar that helped me is the approach to the way the notes are laid out is similar between a keyboard instrument and the qanun. Unlike a violin where you have to put your fingers in the right place to make the note, with this the notes are there. On the qanun you do have to make some adjustments depending on which scale you're playing in, but the way that the notes are laid out is somewhat similar, and it made sense to my mind.
How did it sound to you, the music?
Well, being a complete outsider to the music at first, it was hard to distinguish the difference between, you know, the really heavy classical music and things like Kulthum or more recent things, Fairuz or other types of music. So, you know, we just played it all. And it was kind of through playing it that we grew to love it. You know, hearing it, it was definitely strange and unusual, but being so foreign to me, I could approach it with kind of an empty palette and really...
She lived for 2 years in Jordan and Cairo, Egypt, studying qanun and violin. Anissa has performed on the qanun in New York, Boston, Cairo, Jakarta, and throughout the United States. She is a member of the all-female Arab music ensemble, Al Hawanim.
How did you like it, living in Cairo?
Living in Cairo. I had a wonderful time living in Cairo. I was studying the Arabic language and also studying music. I took qanun lessons from Saber Abdus-Sattar, who is a very, very excellent qanun player there. And I took violin lessons also with Dr. Alfred Gamil and learned much more than violin from Dr. Alfred. He's really a phenomenal musician. So I had a really wonderful time. I studied Arabic at the American University in Cairo and had some really good teachers there. And I took lessons and practiced all the time. I went to musical events. I followed musicians around to their rehearsals and really learned a lot. To be there during Ramadan several times and to endure the hot summers and then have the relief of the winters.
Was it essential for you to learn Arabic in order to study the music?
In Cairo, it definitely was. A lot of the musicians were much more comfortable in Arabic, and that was an experience I was looking for too, was to really have the chance to get better at the language and immerse myself in both the language and the music. This is a more recently composed samai, so it's in the tradition of the samaiyat, the old classical music, but this is Sama'ina wa Athar, and it's by Ahmed Bakr, who I believe is a musician, a composer living in Kuwait.
Classic Arabic music?
I started studying Arabic language several years before. I started when I was at graduate school. I took a year there. I did a summer at Middlebury, which is an intensive language program. I lived in Jordan for 8 months and studied language there, and then went to Cairo. So it was longer than that.
So you've been around the Middle East for quite a while.
A few years.
The qanun is a descendant of the old Egyptian harp. It has played an integral part in Arabic music since the 10th century, and by the 12th century, the qanun was introduced to Europe. The word qanun means law in Arabic.
Yeah, there's really very little experience with anything from the Middle East, any kind of a culture, Middle Eastern culture, especially here in Virginia, especially
Especially here in Virginia.
in this part of Virginia, yeah. Yeah.
Anissa teaches a workshop on Middle Eastern music at Legacy International's Global Youth Village, a unique leadership program in rural Virginia in which young people from around the world come together to create a working model of the global community.
We generally try to give an introduction to the music as we're playing, not just give them the music only, but also give them some explanation and translation.
Anissa has also published articles on Arabic music and presented her work at conferences worldwide.
I play with some friends in New York in different ensembles. And one time my teacher in Cairo was Dr. Alfred Gamil, and he has an ensemble called Kithara, and I played with them in one concert.
For SoulTV.net, I'm Patricia Rayner.